Fines on fines. The big question, the burning question, the question I see all the time on Instagram and in the comment section down below on my videos is, how do you get away with 14 wides where you live? We have dug up all the fines. Later in this video, we are going to be cracking into all of the lovely information that's right here, talking to you guys about not only what I've been stopped for and what the officers find reason to charge me for, but we're also going to summarize how much money I've paid in citations. Now, before this video goes any further, I just want to let you guys know that Dream Diesel giveaway number 15 is over in exactly 1 week from the point at which this video went live. DDG 15 ends February 2nd. 15 times entries are back. That is, every $1 equals 15 times entries for a chance to win my 2020 Denali and $15,000 cash in your choice of either black or brushed American Force wheels with a different size wheel and tire setup. You can customize the truck that you're winning. So click the link below after this video, grab some entries, because you might be taking my baby home. Now into the disclaimers. I will give you some advice in this, but I can't guarantee that you won't get cited if you practice what it is that I preach today. Although that would be nice, I am not an attorney, and this is not legal counsel or guidance by any means. But I did feel as if I have the credibility to make this video and enlighten you a little bit further about my run-in with the law on 14 wides. Or wide wheels in general. Let's just classify anything as a wide wheel that sticks out like more than 1/2 of an inch past the fender. I know that there is some law enforcement that will literally pull people over for having wheels past their fenders by 1/2 of an inch. It's their job. We need to be law-abiding citizens, and at times we just have to accept the fact that it is what it is. Okay, so let's backtrack. I bought my first DURTYMAX in 2015. I immediately put a set of 20x12s on it, which would be deemed illegal because they stuck out roughly, I want to say it was 3.5 inches from the fender well on my 2015 LML DURTYMAX, aka the OGs for my subscribers. But I always yearned to run 14 wides. Once I got my first set of 14 wides, I haven't since looked back. I just think personally it is the most proper wheel and tire setup that you can put on a truck. I know all you guys down in the comments are typing vigorously right now and being furious about how I need to run more tire, less wheel, etc, etc, etc. I'm an enthusiast. I appreciate all setups, but if you look across all the trucks that I've built and or built to give away, they have 14 wides on them. I actually think every single truck has had 14 wides except for one. Dream Diesel giveaway number 8, Blackjack. Very good looking truck though, nonetheless. At that time, I had just graduated from Penn State University with a degree in supply chain management, and I was working for General Motors in Bucks County, Pennsylvania at one of their operations facilities. It was right when I had bought the truck that I had originated and founded at DURTYMAX, my Instagram account. It wasn't about a few years later that I started a YouTube channel, but really that's kind of what pioneered my social media experience. So I have lived in 5 different townships in Pennsylvania, and I've lived in 2 different townships in Michigan while I was working for GM. Shout out to my Michiganders with the mittens. So what I've really learned in summary of my 5 years of having diesel trucks with wide wheels deemed illegal is that there are police officers that will cite you, and there are police officers that will blink an eye. It goes one of 2 ways in my honest opinion. There are officers that are specifically going to identify you as an easy target to generate revenue for their municipality or township in which they are employed by. In other words, they see it as low-hanging fruit. They can cite you and essentially receive your fine payment as money towards whatever objective it is that their captain set for them. Say, hey boss, check it out. I cited 10 people today, 5 of which were wide wheel offenses, and he's gonna say, good job, because we're delivering the bacon to the bottom line because that's what we're expected to do. Then on the other hand, there's police officers that are automotive enthusiasts, which is what I've found, and there's a lot of them out there that watch my videos. Shout out to you guys, thank you for your service. That will always blink a blind eye to wide wheels unless the driver is driving suspicious, the vehicle looks suspicious, or there's other probable cause that they might have to use to kind of open the can to see what's inside, or for lack of a better word, use as a reason to initially stop said individual just to inspect the situation. And that is a very viable means to identify what could be a suspicious looking vehicle. So I wouldn't say having wide wheels is indicative of immediately getting pulled over, because a lot of what happens is it comes down to the discretion of the specific police officer. Now let's jump into a scenario where I've gotten pulled over for wide wheels. I'd like to say that I have a rather unique approach. You guys ready for it? Definitely sit down for this. Prepare yourselves and take notes. I like to do something that a lot of people don't do with police, which is absolutely ridiculous because they're basically human radar detectors. I like to be honest. I'm honest and I'm transparent and authentic in what it is that I believe I'm being stopped for. Every single one of these citations I've been completely honest with. Some of them I've had to pay the fines, others have been dropped. Police are people, they have feelings, they like honest people interaction. And they are literally paid to be human lie detectors. If you're being arrogant, if you're being stubborn, if you're hiding something, or if you're just playing dumb, they know that it bogs down their day. They get a little annoyed, as I do when people aren't honest with me, and maybe they'll cite you as a result. So what I like to do is be completely honest. I'll run you guys through one scenario. Earlier last year, before coronavirus had set in February of 2020, I was stopped by a DOT officer not all that far from my house with my 2020 Denali, which at the time had a set of 22x14s with 355s on it, one of the setups that you can pick if you're the winner of that truck if you decide to get entered, with my gooseneck trailer. I wasn't aware that I needed DOT numbers, and I wasn't also aware that I was overweight and needed a CDL. We got all that stuff fixed now. I took it as a lesson, not a loss. Now, what was unique about the stop that he appreciated and ended up actually taking, very importantly, immediately upon him approaching my vehicle, I rolled my window down, turned the truck off, had my license, registration, and proof of insurance prepared for him already. Before he had even said a word, I said, "Good afternoon, officer. Hope you're having a great day." I said, "I'm gonna take a stab in the dark and say you stopped me for one of 3 things." And he said, "Okay, what is it that you think I stopped you for?" I said, "It's either the wide wheels, the tint, or my lack of inspection, because I know I was not speeding." And he said, "Well, it actually wasn't any of those things, but now that you mention it, all of those are also illegal." And it was at that moment that I realized I think I effed up. But in the grand scheme of things, I was honest, and he appreciated that, and it ended up paying off down the road because he was kind enough to drop the citations, which, by the way, are very large for DOT-related offenses. For those of you that don't know, those that know, I know you know. And the same goes for all the other times that I've ever been stopped, even if I'm speeding. When you're wrong, just admit it, because one of 2 things could happen. The officer appreciates that you're honest and gives you a little bit of a break, or they just don't give a shit because they've been having a brutal day. Their sergeant's probably breathing down their back, and they essentially just need to show that they cited you, so they cite you for the full amount, and then you decide to handle that however it is that you see best fit. Maybe you plead not guilty, and then you just catch them in court, maybe give them a little bit of an explanation, tell them how you learned something, show a little bit of empathy, and see what happens. So I'm not saying that my experiences or my advice is indicative of getting out of all your citations after watching this video on, but at least it's some good words of advice that you guys should absolutely practice in the scenario that you're stopped, because although police officers can be somewhat intimidating, they're looking out for the best in us. They are people, and honesty is the best policy. Now, last and certainly not least, this right here. I've been making YouTube videos for the last 4 years, consistently, essentially posting 3 days a week, every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Throughout this time and residing in the 4 townships in Pennsylvania for the terms that I have, I've had the opportunity to link up, network, and build relationships with a lot of the police officers in my area. And I've got a very good understanding as to areas that I can drive and I probably should try to stray away from. And sometimes you'll learn them by having discussions, or you'll just learn the hard way by driving through, getting stopped, getting cited, and learning that you probably shouldn't ever drive through there again because all of your buddies also did the same thing, and you guys have one of these folders now too. So it is very much dependent upon where you live. Unfortunately, this advice will not pertain to all of you because we're people and all people are different, living in different areas. I hate to state the obvious, but I feel like I should probably do that. Because if I assume, I'll make an ass out of you and me. A-S-S-U-M-E, get it? All right, so let's dig into all of these lovely citations right here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that's the court summary, 9. We've got 9 citations right here. Now, every single one of these citations was, in fact, initiated by my wide wheels. This was over the course of 5 years, so that averages out to be, what's that math? Like 4 citations, 5 years, 9 divided by, that's like roughly 2 citations a year, which in my opinion isn't all that bad. This one I got stopped for having wide wheels, but I was actually cited for operating vehicle with an expired inspection. Title 67 175.65B, tire that projects beyond the body line. Tire that projects beyond the body line. Tire that projects beyond the body line. Tires that project past the body line. Same thing. Tires that project past the body line. Same thing, same thing, same thing. So essentially that's what they're citing me for. And just to be clear, if you get cited for wide wheels, at least in Pennsylvania, that citation does not carry any points. So if you plead guilty, you pay essentially a $170 fine and it's done. Sometimes they'll give you fix-it warnings or fix-it tickets, meaning that you need to take the wheels off. You need to go and physically show that the wheels have been removed and then obviously never put them on again. So let's summarize the cost of all of my legal fees associated with running 14 wides because it's just the look that I love. $170. I've paid $1,530 in fines over the course of the last 5 years to run 14 wides or wide wheels. So if we want to look at a total cost of ownership annually incurred by yours truly to achieve that look, we will divide that number by 5, and it roughly cost me $306 a year to run wide wheels. There you go. That is my experience with running wide wheels. Now, I'm curious. Comment below and talk to me a little bit about what you've gone through related to wheels projecting past the body line, your experiences with law enforcement, and your strategy in handling scenarios where you're stopped. I inevitably can't get you all out of citations if you want to run wide wheels, but at least I can share with you my approach, which is essentially just a direct correlation of my personal value of being honest. That you're honest with the police officer, and that is the best thing that you can do. So thanks for hanging out with me in the office today. I'm glad that we could have that discussion. I hope you guys learned some things. And if you appreciate this video, drop it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the YouTube channel already. Tap the notification bell. If you liked the skit at the beginning of this video, you should comment below and let me know because I've got a lot more where that came from. Grab some entries for Dream Diesel giveaway number 15. 15 times entries. Your 2021 in a Denali. Imagine the possibilities. And boys, I'll see y'all in the next upload. Now I gotta clean up my mess.